Good evening, Fabulous Fitness fans. So glad to have you here today. This is for the judging of the recipe challenge. You guys did it again. It was really tough. And again, I went into it thinking that I was leaning one direction, and then something else just totally happens each time. And I'm just gonna think it's a God thing. And I sat here for 10 minutes before I even pushed record because I kept going back and forth, back and forth. Am I choosing the right one? Is this the right one? And so I want you to know I don't take it lightly, and I don't like agonize over it and lose sleep over it, but I do take it seriously, and I do appreciate your participating in these challenges because these are for us to learn something from each other and to try new things. So I wanted to bring up just a few points. I lost my notes on that. About the use of olive oil. Olive oil is best used on cold things or used after food is cooked as added on. It's not that it makes it a bad oil to cook with. You see it used on all the top chef shows and all like that. It just loses some of its nutritional value when it's heated. So better oils to heat and cook with would be coconut oil and macadamia nut oil and a couple other nut oils. And I'll post a link about that information on FabFit so that you can research it for yourself and decide whether you want to continue to use olive oil or whether there's a better oil to be used. Again, it doesn't make it a bad oil to cook with. It just, like I said, loses some of its nutritional value. And that's my dog Cowboy, and you might see my son Philip go back and forth because, hey, this is my household, and that's what happens here in the evening. So here was what I looked at. Here was the criteria that was laid out in the challenge. Is that you need to use ingredients from the list provided. That list was very specific because those were all seasonal produce items. There were no exotic items on the list, so that you could find them at your local grocery store. And I did ask that you use a combination of protein and vegetables in it, and then you could choose whether you used a grain or dairy or not, and then your choice of any kind of seasonings or things like that on it. So I looked at your use of the ingredient list, that you provided me a picture of your creation, a list of your ingredients and the measurements, how well you explained the steps to make the dish, the affordability of the dish was taken into account, and the nutritional value of the dish, and the simplicity. Now, that doesn't mean that, I was looking for just the easiest thing to do because it had to have all those other components too. It was just most of us work a full day and then coming home and I'm spending a couple hours in the kitchen isn't going to happen. It's not going to make it a dish that you're going to want to try. You might want to save it for Sunday or Saturday when you're home, or you might want to do some pre-prepping, as I'm going to discuss when I go through some of the recipes that were submitted. There were 9 submissions, and I'm going to start with, they're in no particular order, so don't think, if you don't hear that if you hear your name first, it means that you get the lowest score or anything like that. They are in random order except for the winner. I put last. Lisa, yum. I really want to come to your house. This is one I want served to me. I would love to stay at Hotel Lisa and have her Lux Nova served to me. Great use of the ingredients, and very high nutritional value, very high in omega-3s. I hope to use this recipe with your permission in some future things that we're going to do, and I'll talk a little bit about that at another time. Um, I don't think I really had any, I don't have any notation on here. Your presentation was nice, your picture was nice, and I don't have any notation on anything that I would change on that. So, fabulous recipe. Cat. This is on one of my top list of recipes that I will be trying in the next week or two as time allows. Again, this dish is so full of omega-3s. Omega-3s are very good for, they have very good anti-inflammatory properties, help with blood clotting issues. Again, I'm going to post a link about all the nutritional benefits of omega-3s. So we're looking for that. Pictures were nice, and your list of ingredients were really good. And I love that you put changes that you made to the recipe and how you use things that you had on hand or that you preferred instead of those that were listed in the original recipe. So great flexibility in that one, and it looks very doable and it looked delicious. So I want to make up a batch of those and do them in the freezer. Let me know how those work out when you thaw them out and reheat them. That I would be interested in. Kama, I did not put the name of your dish here. That is odd. But I really like your presentation. I like the picture. I like everything about it. It scored very high in everything. Let me see. The only thing I would have included was more veggies, but you had some great veggies in it. Yeah, no bad points about that dish whatsoever. Wanda had her shredded chicken enchilada, shredded chicken with enchilada sauce, sorry. Again, looked delicious, is on my list of things to try. So everybody just might get a higher score later after I get a chance to make all these. I should have had like a tasting committee to do these. And let's see. Carla, I don't have a name for your dish. I don't know whether you named it or not. I didn't see a name for it. But it had the bison, ground bison, squash, and tomatoes in it. Now, Carla would score the very highest for affordability because Carla grew all of her own vegetables, and her only expense, if I remember right, was the bison. So, way to go. And if you want to make this dish and you don't grow your own vegetables and you want to keep it more affordable, instead of using bison in it, you can use a lean ground beef in it, and that'll bring down the price per serving on that. But bison or grass-fed beef are the better choices. They have a better fat content, a better nutritional value for you. The notation I have on this dish is very high in beta carotenes, very healthy for you, very healthy fats in it. The only drawback on it would be that it took an hour to bake. And with that, I would just, for me personally, I would do my baking over the weekend. I would maybe even make the whole dish over the weekend and serve it, have it in my refrigerator serve as leftovers. Perfect scores on everything. So I'm just making suggestions for like how you can make it more affordable for you and how to make it more time manageable for you. Mike had his great Greek burgers, and I think we're all showing up at Mike's for a cookout, and I think there was an offer for use of a hot tub. Just saying, you know, could be about 120 of us show up there. Mike, you want to make burgers? I loved your pictures. Those were good. I didn't see them at first. I did have to go back and search for them, but I did find them, and you provided awesome pictures and of the process and of the finished product, and it looked delicious. It looked like it belonged in a magazine. And again, with this dish, you could substitute lean ground beef for the bison, I believe was used in this one. And Mike even gets like an extra point for a great name for his dish. He called it the Great Greek Burger, and he used feta, and I love feta. You can't go wrong with that. And yeah, that's on my list of things to try too. Now I think Celeste was trying to bribe me or something. I don't know. Shh, just kidding, girl. Um, she had a Portuguese chicken dish that looked to die for, um, and my family has a little bit of Portuguese in them, so that's why I was teasing her about being a little trying to bribe me with that. Um, Perfect scores on everything. Again, the same thing comment I made with Carla's was the only drawback for me would be that it had an hour and a half preparation time. And again, for me, I would just get around that by cooking over the weekend the chicken and then doing any assembly or anything I needed to do on the night of serving. Or even make the whole dish and then eat it as leftover. I do that all the time. It's very doable. The dishes scored perfect on affordability and nutrition. The instructions were fabulous. Be very easy to put that in my recipe file, pull it out, and use that during the week. Janelle, kudos, high five to you. I wish I could do like high five right over the internet to you. What I loved most about yours is that you did not go shopping for yours. And you did not have a recipe, and you just pulled out what you had and used up stuff that you had on hand, and that's the kind of thing I do. It's just like, I'm hungry, let's see what we got, and I just start pulling things out of the refrigerator, and depending on what I have, then I decide, okay, that could use a little bit of Italian seasoning or a little bit of Greek seasoning or Mexican. Let's see which way that's going to go. So I really love that about your dish, and so that like really speaks volumes about like the affordability on it and the time. I mean, you didn't have to spend time shopping, you really didn't have to spend time on preparation, you had it all right there. I have nothing bad, you lost no points whatsoever on that. It's like a perfect scorecard. I have so many perfect scorecards, it was hard to come up with a winner on this one, but there has to be a winner, right? I mean, there's only so many packages I can send out each week. But the winner is Donna. And here's why Donna is the winner. Number one, ease in preparation. She grilled, hers was grilled lemon chicken. So it had a name, had a title. She had her pictures. She scored perfect on all of the nutrition. Let's see, nutrition, our list of ingredients, instructions. Okay, she trounced everybody on the affordability of this because she found chicken for $1 a pound. So I really like that. And so congratulations, Donna. I don't want to, overshadow that by just keep talking because I'm really good at keeping talking. But here's what I want to say about the $1 a pound chicken. When you're going shopping and you have your grocery list, you want to be somewhat flexible. You may have already made your menus and everything, but be prepared. If you go in thinking that you're going to put your budget dollars towards chicken, and then you find out that they have sirloin steak on sale, you might want to see if you could switch up some of your menus to take advantage of that sale, because usually sirloin steak is a little pricey and maybe out of your budget. But if it's on sale, you might want to stock up on it. And if you can afford to go ahead and get the chicken that's in your budget, and also still afford to stock up on the sirloin steak, then stock up on the sirloin steak for a later date. Showing the flexibility, like I was talking about Janelle with using what she had on hand. When you go in the grocery store and you have like certain produce items in mind, shop for those local and seasonally in-season produce items. They are going to be your cheapest, and stock up on them. Cook your things in bulk. Put them in freezer bags. Right now I'm making a lot of things with tomatoes.